Hello and welcome to probably the final cockpit session for 2020 and possibly the final cockpit session this side of the Atlantic. Next cockpit session should probably be somewhere in the Western Hemisphere over near the Caribbean or even South America, who knows?
Yeah, so I suppose I should explain what a cockpit session is. Yeah, we've been doing these for our patrons for quite a while now, and it's pretty much they either elect or we choose a subject that we're going to talk about, things like passage planning, weather routing, what it's like living on a boat, homeschooling, anything really that comes up. We've done all sorts, and then we talk about it for about 10 minutes and think of anything we can think of on that subject. So any knowledge we have, we try and share it with our patrons. That's what a cockpit session is. I mean, this one is slightly different because this is not just for our patrons this time, because this time we want to talk about our plans, our future plans, and we also want to talk about how the patrons as well in particular have kind of helped us make our plans, or how the impact of that, if that makes sense.
Well, I think this year in particular has just proven that things are completely unpredictable, as we mentioned before, and the patrons kind of helped us even more this year than ever before, because we've had a lot of unexpected expenses and breakages and maintenance things go wrong. But this cockpit session, because it's such a milestone, we thought we'd kind of open it up to everybody, because there are a lot of people that we're cruising with who have stopped sailing and have actually returned to land, but we want to explain how we're going to manage to carry on and what our future plans are. Because it's such a milestone, this one, we want everybody to kind of know what's going to happen this year. Well, what's going to happen in 2021, and hopefully what our cruising plans will be.
Yeah, so cruising plans and travel plans is probably on everyone's sort of mind if it's ever going to be possible again. I mean, that's kind of always, we're always questioning that. But I suppose we should also mention what it's been like up to now, really, and how the patrons have really supported that as well. So because it's going to change slightly, I suppose, because up to now it's been very much we've had patrons here from the beginning, we've had people that have joined recently, and every patron is very important to us. We've had lots of we've had all sorts of things apart from the patronage and that regular kind of membership thing. We've had all sorts of unexpected gifts as well over the years. From we've put that towards Optimist dinghies. We've had books, electronic kits.
It's actually made our Christmas this year, actually, because we're in the kind of in a place where it's really difficult to get hold of things, and so we've kind of held back a few of those gifts, and then Santa Claus has managed to pass them on to the kids.
Yes,
which you'll see in future vlogs, by the way.
Yeah, and also I suppose generally, how we travel. We've been to lots of exciting places. If you've seen our videos, we've been to Göbekli Tepe. We've been all around Andalusia, and recently that we haven't edited yet, but we did some exploring in Lanzarote and all those things.
And Gibraltar as well.
Yeah, in Gibraltar. So we've kind of.
Darry got attacked by a monkey. That's the one to look out for.
Yeah. So I suppose the way it's worked so far is that any additional funds that we've had, we've basically it changes our itinerary and it makes it even more exciting, and it means then we can do more filming and editing and share it. So that's how it's been so far. But yeah, now we kind of I suppose it's looking forward now, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So looking ahead, obviously everybody who's in the travelling game at the moment has had to change their plans quite radically. Some people have given up altogether. A lot of people are kind of locking themselves down just to get this era of uncertainty out the way before they carry on. But I think we're going to carry on anyway. We've looked at those uncertainties and we've figured we can meander our way through them anyway. That's what we think. I don't think the world is going to be any easier to travel in the near future than it has this year. I think there's going to be a lot more bureaucracy, a lot more expense.
Yeah. It's quite daunting.
Borders are closing down rather than opening up. I mean, the South Pacific at the moment is completely inaccessible.
Yeah.
And countries are kind of, you're sort of mid-transit, and countries will suddenly come up with some policies which, you've got to literally change your plans. Sort of mid-Atlantic. That's we're hoping it won't happen. But
so we can't plan too far ahead because of that, and it is quite daunting, and in a way it's quite scary, and it feels like maybe the safest thing to do is to stay put in Europe, like most people that we know, or go back to UK. But I mean, as you know, we've kind of waited. This is like the fourth time now, our fourth attempt. I mean, the first year for some reason we thought we were going to go straight across the Atlantic and that'll be it, but you know there was maintenance involved. Second year it was maintenance involved. Third year it was health. I remember I lost all my hair, and this year it was the pandemic. So it was kind of very much like, you know, lots of people saying maybe it's not a good time, but we've decided we're going to go. There's some people gone across, and we decided we are going to cross. The things that we've got to look at now while travelling in this environment in the world is everything's got to be a lot more pre-organised. So you have to apply to go to places, and then you have to check out the rules. And at the moment, it seems to be when you leave a place, you have to get tests, the PCR tests. You have to produce those when you arrive, and then sometimes you have to have another test on arrival, and sometimes a test 5 days later, as well as doing the application process.
So the bureaucracy and the costs of just doing a simple passage now has become far more complicated and
it's not just
costly,
the weather anymore and that sort of thing. I mean, so but there is a way of getting through it. It means being patient and doing a lot of research and being very adaptable and flexible, and also trying to find the places where you do the least tests. So that's what we're trying to do as well. Like, we're trying to go places where you don't have to do another test on arrival, or you don't have to have one another 5 days after, or you don't have to quarantine, because then you've got to hang out and wait. I
think another thing that's been really handy is having a network of friends around the globe who are living in these places or are travelling through these places. I mean, you get the information a lot more directly, a lot more accurately from people who are actually there than you do from government websites and stuff. So just like say a quick thanks to people who've been passing us that information along. Yeah, it's really handy actually, and also I mean, obviously, knowing people around the world. I mean, that's the great thing about the channel, and also patrons, that you know we've managed to make some really good close friendships and connections with our patrons as much as they want to. Really, we're there available for however much friendship and relationship they want to create, really, and that's been really nice, because it also kind of gives us that bit of a kick to sort of think, yeah, we can do this. We feel like we've got an extra bit of support. The funding also helps towards the extra tests that we didn't really budget for, and that we feel confident that we can get, you know, we can manage it and we can afford it and we can keep going. I mean, we will carry on as long as we can. It's and I suppose like a family network of people, you know, everywhere we go, and we kind of know of people, or people have been in touch from that place, so we don't feel like we're sailing into the unknown so much as a lot of people are. And also, I mean, again, it means if we keep going, then we can film more, we can travel more, we can just keep that idea of travel in the world as still a possibility, because it kind of feels like it's really difficult at the moment. For us, it's a bit easier because we're on a boat, but going by flight anywhere and like that is really difficult. There's flights are cancelled. You know, it's just, I suppose it's keeping that dream alive for everyone, really, about travel, that that it is still out there. You know, there's still these amazing places, and and that if we do it safely, if we follow all the protocols, which we are doing all the time, then you can do it. So that's a new edge to what we're sharing. I feel like it's not just the travel, but it's how to travel safely in the world as it is right now, and especially because we're kind of pioneers of it, along with a few others, because a lot of people are not doing it. Then we can kind of share that information, new information, as well as a lot of maintenance. I mean, obviously, beneath all of that, there's also the ongoing problems of maintenance, which when you see in our Miramar blog, which will be coming up in a few weeks maybe, we did a lot of work there before we could get going. So it's been good to share that, actually. You know, we've had a lot of people who actually write in and just say how appreciative they are of that. I mean, I'll kind of admit I hate maintenance. I really, you know, you're in a beautiful place, and everybody's kind of on the paddle boards and enjoying it and diving, you know, and I'm stuck with my elbows in grease and whatever. But you know, sticking the camera up there and filming it, it's kind of it's a way of kind of giving something back as well to kind of people who've been contributing to our blogs and things like that. Yeah, because a lot of our patrons actually are, I know it's just the maintenance they're particularly interested in, and that's really good to be able to share that back, and actually just share that with everyone else that's got to go through that same thing, because I don't think many people love it, really. And but yeah, and just please note, Woody has had a few days off as well, haven't you, over Christmas and birthday. That's it. Got to be done though. Actually, on that subject, just say Merry Christmas to everybody, because it is sort of the Christmas period, isn't it? yeah, and I guess I'm not sure when this will come out, but obviously our patrons will get it today.
Yeah. And then next week
it'll be Happy New Year.
It'll be the public who'll get it as well. And
a very Happy New Year, actually. It'll be nice to see 2020 out the way. And
yeah, let's hope that it's different really in next year, and let's hope that, I mean, I suppose furthering on from that, ideally we'd like to go through the Panama Canal, but until the Pacific starts to open up a bit more, we don't feel that's a wise move yet. So it turns out we might end up, in the Caribbean for the hurricane season as well. But again,
which could get a bit tricky with insurance.
Well, depends. Yeah, we've got to choose where we're going to be. We don't have much choice actually. It's got to be the ABC Islands really for our insurance, unless we try and get another insurance, and that's possible. But again, that's the next step on. At first, we've kind of got to get down. We're going Cape Verde, and then Suriname. That's the latest plan. Who knows where we might stop on that coast, and then we'll end up in the Caribbean, and then we kind of reassess, I guess.
So that if plans go ahead, we'll be visiting 4 continents in about 2 months.
Yeah.
Because we'll left Europe, Cape Verde will be Africa, then Suriname will be South America, and then we'll be in Central America.
Yeah.
Sort of, I don't know, mid-June maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then hopefully
Central America.
carry on. I mean, we did hope to kind of spend some time in the Caribbean, but the way things are, our plans are completely in a state of flux.
Yeah. So I mean, the hurricane season starts in June, so we have to decide if we're going through the Panama Canal. We have to be there by March, April. If we're staying in the Caribbean, we've got till June. But the other thing is we won't be travelling much in the Caribbean because again, every island, like I mentioned before, is test as you leave, test as you arrive, and there's so many tests that we're willing to pay for. So we might just find a few nice, cool islands and
drop the anchor. Yeah,
and just kind of like concentrate on those and edit all the wonderful stuff we'll have from our crossing and so forth.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
So that's it. Yeah. I mean, cockpit sessions usually last about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We always kind of go over a little bit. We're kind of 12 minutes now. But who knows where we'll be this time next year? We kind of our rough overarching plans is we will be in New Zealand.
We'd love that if we could, but by November. But
who knows? I mean, I hope the world will be in a much better place
for everybody
this time next year.
Yeah, for everyone. So thanks for being a subscriber. Thanks for being a patron, and we'll see you in the next vlog, which will be out next week. We're still doing our summer vlogs, but
we're a bit behind on them, but we'll catch up.
Instagram keeps you up to date, and Facebook on things. But yeah,
okay,
that's it. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.